Hello everybody. Welcome once again to an eruption, another conversation with a founder. Today we have Ized of Zedi Africa with us. I will just start and we'll get into it straight away. So Ized, first of all, who are you? Where are you from? Which schools did you attend, or are you currently attending anyone?
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Ized Uanikhehi. I'm founder and CEO, and on some days I'm CMO2 of Zedi Africa. Zedi Africa. Um, Zedi is a marketing agency for startups. We're focused on growth marketing for startups, especially tech startups around Africa. But we also have a couple of clients in the US, UK, and in Dubai. We're looking for more, by the way, everybody.
I love this.
I am a biochemist by course. How did they say it? I actually went to school and studied biochemistry. But marketing has always been my thing. Even through school, I would sell, and I was selling throughout. And that's how I made all the extra income on the side, and that's how I did big girls in school. And so it was only a matter of time post school that I became a full time marketer. And I did work in the lab for a bit. I worked in the lab for about a year, chemical pathology lab, utilized my certificate for a bit. But one day I was sitting down, maybe looking through spinning blood. I remember that it was, the blood was in the centrifuge, it was spinning, and I was like, shit, this is not what I plan to do for the rest of my life. Anyways, and then decided I was going to move to Abuja and look for a job. And I didn't get a job, by the way. And so I focused on what my skills were and what my talents were, which is selling. And I started selling for other people. So you could say that I'm more sales than marketing. But, we somewhat interchange the two, especially when you're working in a field like mine. And so I am a digital marketing professional, a sales person. My forte is content strategy. I like to tell stories. I am also Mama Papi. I have a son who's called Papi. He's amazing, most amazing human being alive anywhere. What else? What else? What else? What else? I have also like a really great team at Zedi Africa. I can't remember what else to add, but I'm sure as we go on, I will be able to add some more things. But that's Ized in a nutshell.
All right. Isaac, which schools did you attend? First of all, did you tell us your state? I don't think you told us your state. I didn't like this.
I'm from Edo State.
Okay, nice.
I was born and bred in Edo State. I was buttered in Ondo State, which is where I did my university. And then I was toasted in Abuja, which is where I started working.
Which kind of toast though? Is it iron that they use? I mean, the toaster that's flog
up. So they actually use those. They put me inside paper and used iron to
press that the body school time. Hey, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent toast. It's better than the toaster itself.
Is that
too dry?
Okay.
Yes, it's better.
That's a matter of this. It's a matter of this, my friend. All right, great. Do you speak any languages apart from English? Any other language?
I speak Pidgin English very fluently.
Pidgin
English is a language. We're not going to get
arguing. I'm not arguing. I've been asked. We will continue this conversation for Pidgin from now on.
No. Make we talk. No, but you know that you are from the north, and your Pidgin English is not strong with my own. I'm from where they
marinate. You have never heard me. I'm
from where they marinated the Pidgin English. If I talk now, you go confused.
I will confuse.
People when they listen to this thing feel confused. No, we not confuse them.
How do you go confused?
They see like that.
Audience in Nigeria.
I hope say Oyibo go listen to this one. Say they put on Spotify. I hope say Oyibo go. I want to make my market say well, make Oyibo no confused. When they say what are they saying? What are they saying? So me focus on our focus. Everything in the market now.
No, I like you just talk makes sense. So we'll continue for English.
Yeah, let's get into the English. Even flow.
But see, I agree with you. I feel like a point will come. Today, there is what's there? I think it's policy shapers or something. They're trying to, you know, that IELTS thing that Nigeria. They're trying to push that Nigeria is an English country, and so we don't need IELTS for like UK and whatever.
IELTS.
There's like
Is it
a
IELTS?
yeah, I think is it. I think it's IELTS that because Nigerians they have to write exams of English to
So
prove
I
that.
didn't know that they called it IELTS. I would typically call it IELTS. So it's good
Oh.
now. I'm learning from Gen Z. That's the Gen Z language, right? IELTS. Okay, then.
It's not the spelling. It's not okay. The
I'm
I
a Gen Z wannabe. No, fam, anything you say, I'm with you.
okay. But anyway, they're doing that right. But I think a time will come that I was watching Ini yesterday. Ini talking with Tayo. You know Tayo Arena, the YouTuber.
Yes, I know. I know. It's a friend.
Yeah,
We
Tayo.
worked together before it blew.
Uh,
You know, say now it don't blow now. I go to claim him. That's my friend. Yeah, that's
they act like Nigerians with their basketball stars and football stars blue, but then they have decided not to be Nigeria again. You want to claim them by force.
I don't claim Tayo. Tayo has claimed me back. Nothing can shake that claim.
Okay. Okay. This sounds like a customs office, but okay.
Yes.
So I mean,
put it in the bio. Ized knows Tayo. I know.
oh, Tayo knows Ized. Which one? Which one is best?
Yeah, Tayo knows Ized. That's better.
Okay,
That's
perfect. But anyways, like his interview in Aboyeji, and recently there's this guy from the guy that owns drinks.ng. I think he's in Lekki, he has a store in Lekki, right? And just basically saying how the Nelson Mandela thing that Nigeria for Africa to be great, Nigeria to be great, blah blah blah. But like more importantly, they spoke about respect. Two of them in the sense that we have to start respecting, we have to start building things that will make us respectful outside Nigeria and in Africa as a whole, right? I'm just saying the point whereby I think we can be able to make pidgin an official language, right? In my opinion, will represent that because it's a different kind of confidence. I mean, today, aside from English being a unifier of all the states in Nigeria, right? I mean, we need English. If not, all the other languages are just too much. But I think the points whereby we get, and obviously the benefits that comes with English being a global language, blah blah blah. When we start to have pidgin as official, as per on paper, right? Like our president will give speech in pidgin, or like our governors will give speech in pidgin, all that thing. It will show a different kind of confidence at the end of the day, in my opinion. What do you think?
I don't know whether to be with you or without you, but but if it so happens, it will be very confusing because I've been around Nigeria and the pidgin varies. There's some people I don't even like speaking pidgin. By the time they start speaking their pidgin, I'm like, what? No, please.
Some people's English. Our English are not all the same. Also, in that.
Yeah, but the pidgin is the pidgin varies in different states, and and with the slangs, and when you're in Edo State or you're in like the south, the pidgin is different. But I'm sure we're going to be talking about marketing. Why are we talking about pidgin English? This guy, you don't want me to sell my market.
Sorry, okay, sorry. The schools you attended, and then we'll start talking about marketing.
No, but I did. I said I was buttered in Ondo State. I went to Ondo State University.
Okay.
Yeah. I dropped out after Ondo State. I mean, I graduated with my biochemistry certificate.
Yeah.
But after that, I decided, I was on the streets, University of the Streets, and I wasn't going to be focused so much on getting another degree. But now I'm considering going back for like master's and additional degrees. I have done a couple of certificate courses for like entrepreneurial leadership, marketing, content strategy, but none like a full-on master's certificate and all of that. I think I might go back for one, maybe business admin, MBA.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we start proper study the work,
we haven't started.
I just want to ask, what do you think about being Nigerian after Nigeria in the 21st century? You said you're a Gen Z wannabe, so I can already imagine you're a millennial, right? First of all, what do you think about being a millennial, I suppose, in the 21st century, and then the maybe annoying later generations that like to claim stuff ahead?
I actually don't know what you're talking about when you call me a millennial. because
Sorry.
because it is where my heart is. That's where I am. What do I think about being a Nigerian in the 21st century or a millennial in the 21st century? I think life is a bit tough on the millennials, to be fair. We saw it when it was good. I mean, when we were younger, we saw it when it was good. And now that it has gotten to this point, we have there's always the good old days to at the back of our head and the good old days to look back to, or maybe the not so good old days, but the much better than today days. And there's always that memory of, can we fix it? But we keep making like the bad decisions in terms of who we elect and why we elect these people, because regardless of what people say, regardless of how active people are, they tend to always at some point focus on what they stand to gain from everything, whether it is work, whether it is elections, what do we stand to gain from this? But I'm thankful for the generation after, the Sorosoke generation, the Gen Zs, of which, I'm probably like strongly part of, spirit-wise. Because I literally woke up at some point in the Gen Z generation. Still, to be able to have a taste of both generations is exciting. I think that's what I will use now, because that's safe, because this is a podcast that's going on Spotify. But they have inspired the speak out part of everyone, and we will not take this crap, or we will not take this shit part of everyone. And just being able to watch this happen and be in the middle of this generation who is taking a stand, and even if they didn't see the good old days like we did see it, they have like the plans of where they want Nigeria to go to. And so just being a part of it is really interesting. I think that there's hope. I think that there's hope because, I mean, Gen Zs are, what's not to love? I mean, besides their bad mouths, apart from their bad mouth.
And the resignations. Oh my God. Hey.
Apart from their bad mouth, they have this go-getter attitude and this go-getter spirit that sort of inspires people and everything. But I think that if you think that their mouth is bad, they should watch out for the generation. What's the generation after Gen Z? Gen Y? Gen X?
Now them sub you.
Whatever it is they're calling them, man, those ones will be tough, because I'm literally grooming one in my house. Like every conversation is started from a why. Before, they will tell me to jump and do something, and I will jump and do it because it was important to respect our elders. The Gen Zs are more of, I will respect you, but on the condition that this happened. This is much younger ones are like, why? Who are you? Why should I respect you? What would the respect bring? So you're literally asking questions like, why should I do that? Smart, pass your exam. It is your decision for me to go to school. It is not my decision to be in school. So why are you asking me to pass my exams? I mean, if you, I've seen, man, these ones that are coming, they're going to be much tougher. But still, it's exciting. Human beings in general are exciting. Where we're headed to is exciting. I believe that there's hope for Nigeria. If we get things right with this new election, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of fixing that needs to happen. But I think that we're on the right path.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's start with Zedi. I think you explained Zedi in your introduction. So can you just talk about it just briefly again, and then like the services that you offer at Zedi Africa?
Okay, so Zedi is like Jedi.
Zedi or Zedi? Oh, sorry.
Jedi. You have to think like Jedi, like the Jedi of,
like Star Wars is Jedi.
Yes, like all knowing and all seeing and strong, and Zedi.
How did the name come about?
Technically, it's if you put the I of Ized to the back of the Ized, it becomes Zedi.
Oh. Actually, actually.
but, but it's a lot more than that, actually. We were playing with the word Horus, the all-seeing eye, because we were at the stage at our marketing where we broke off from another agency to form this, and we had literally studied tech and startups and startup growth and growth marketing for startups. And we're at the point where we could see the big picture, even if people were not exactly seeing it. And we could see the big picture. And then we're playing with the word Horus, the all-seeing eye. But, I can't remember there was some technical or legal issues with that name. So, and we went with Zeda. It was actually recommended by a friend. I told him, see two name options. Please help me tell the lawyer when she gets on the call which one she should check both names and see which one works so that we can register. But he somehow told her only one name, Zeda, because he thought it was good. Now I have to explain it every time I travel. I'm like, Zeda, is that from your name, Ized? I'm like, not exactly, but it was. So Zedi, like Jedi, but the all-seeing eye. And our focus is we're a marketing tech agency for startups. We grow startups. We take startups from point zero, whether they're at the MVP stage, they're just coming up, launch stage, or they're at the growth stage, or they're at the unicorn stage. And we ensure that we help them meet their KPIs. Our focus is on startups. So all of our tools that we're building, all of the technology that we're building, all of the platforms we're building is focused on helping startups meet their long-term goals. And what we had noticed was for most marketing agencies, or for other marketing agencies, maybe not most, there was a one-size-fits-all type of strategy that was going on with startups. And they were not particularly meeting startups at the point of their needs. And because we were a startup ourselves and we were a tech company ourselves at some point, it became important that we were able to differentiate every startup by their target audience and by their needs. So that's what we are at Zedi. We are a marketing tech agency for startups. The tech part of it is we don't just do marketing. We're building tools that will help ensure that we're building tools that include AI, automation tools, that will ensure that we're helping these startups reach their growth potential so that they can raise more money. And if they raise more money, they can pay us more money. You see, it works for us somehow.
Yeah.
if they grow, we charge more, they pay more, somehow, all is well that ends well. So that's what we are. Yeah. So our services include full-on marketing, 360 degrees online, offline. What we have done with our tech is we built a tech called Growth Stack. We're still building, by the way. Growth Stack that is a semi-automated end-to-end marketing platform for startups. What it means is we've automated some of the processes that will typically take time and effort and energy and people to do, so that it's done faster, and thus the startups can pay even less. And then the semi part is, everybody knows that the best kind of marketing always has a human touch. So there's the human team behind it, ensuring that there's quality control and things are moving as fast as they need to move. Yeah, so that's it.
I just love the fact that you guys are, you guys have a pizza-like approach to how startups need their things, right? I mean, you want a strategist, you want a marketer, like there are just specifics that you can choose. I don't have like the whole package, right, by force, spoon-fed to you. So can you just speak about that? Like maybe how that decision came about? Is it because of what you have worked on before, or how?
Okay, so for most startups that are trying to get marketing right, they don't have a marketing team. Sometimes when they come to an agency and then they find that it's too expensive for them, then they start to say, okay, let's hire a marketing team. And then they ask us, how can we hire a marketing team? Can you hook us up with some of the really good marketers at different stages? So we have a side agency. I don't know whether to call it a side agency, but it's also under the Zedi group. It's called Hire Foster. Hire Foster is focused on recruiting growth and marketing talent for startups. So they recruit, they train, they skill up, and then they deploy to different startups. And so based on that, we wanted a platform where we'll be able to connect Hire Foster and Zedi, make it easy. So we're not literally sending the startups, oh, okay, just go to Hire Foster. So on our page, you just go, I want a content person. And then you pick whether you want somebody that's a beginner based on the amounts that you have, a beginner, intermediate, or an expert. Like that, you can pick and create your marketing team. We have different people at different levels, and then you see the amounts that you'll be paying at the end of the month, and then you pay that. We usually advise like an additional 7% of the total fee charge for Hire Foster. Here's why: because we can manage those people for you and ensure that they are giving the best at every point in time. So they can work remotely, but we'll be managing them with an additional 7% charge, or they can work full-time for you in person and we'll still be managing them. So they are actually like Hire Foster staff or Zedi staff, but they are working for you fully. And so when anyone is not doing what they should be doing or not reaching their potential, we can actually swap and move that person for retraining. So it's not like we are actually kicking the person out. We're just going to retrain the person and then maybe deploy them to some other agency.
Okay, it sounds like a marketing Andela.
Yes, an umbrella for marketing. Yeah,
Andela for marketing. Yes. All right. Excellent. So, can you just explain how? I mean, I don't. Did you explain it like when we started talking? I can't remember. But anyways, can you explain like how you got to be interested in marketing? You said you were a marketer. So maybe the companies that you transitioned from, like from the first one all the way to, okay, I have to have my own team, Zedi.
So my father used to calculate the number of days that you're in school and give you 1,000 naira per day. So if you're in school for 30 days, he will give you 30,000 naira. If you're in school for 40 days, he'll give you 40,000 naira. Basically saying that, with 1,000 naira per day, you can eat and be okay and be fine. But we know that, 30,000 naira in school was not, by the time you buy 2 tops and 2 bras and 2 trousers from it, it has finished. So what I used to do was I will take like 2/3 of my school money and go to this Benin city because I grew up in Benin. They call New Benin Market. I will take 2/3 of my money and go to New Benin Market and buy like nice tops or nice jeans or nice skirts, nice dresses that I thought students were into, and then the rest of the other part of it I will buy like zobo leaves like in large quantities and then beans powder. When I got to school, I would sell the tops or the dresses and the skirts at double the price that I bought it, effectively doubling my money. Sometimes at 3 times the price that I bought it. If I pick well at the really cheap ones, effectively doubling or tripling my money. Then for weekends, I would make like a batch of zobo drink, really nice, really sweet, and then feed it with. There was a lady that used to sell food at Akumba, which is where I went to school, and I'll visit there, and then she would sell it and then give me my money for the drinks and take the profit on top. So then she used to sell each bottle for 100 naira, I think, or 50 naira. I can't remember now. It's been a while. And then she would maybe pay me 30 naira and take 20 naira on top, which worked out well for me. So I didn't have to have a fridge. I didn't have to. I would just make like a big batch, make it sweet, put pineapple, put everything, bottle it, and give to her.
You
She
did
would
it by yourself?
Yes, I was doing it by myself.
How many
She
bottles?
put it in her fridge. It used to be a lot, but you do it once a week. She will put it in her fridge. Some weeks she will tell you that it has finished though, so you will do it faster than typically I would do it on Fridays or Saturdays, but she might call you like on a Wednesday and say, it has finished faster. Or maybe this batch was really sweet, but it has finished faster than normal. And so I would make on days that I did not typically plan. I used to go and make it in my brother's house. So I would then make another batch. I would make up to 100 or 150. She'll put it in her fridge and sell when people are buying food. She sold food. That was what she was selling, food. So when people are buying the food from her, they would ask for zobo. I can't remember. I think she was selling 50 naira for a bottle at the time. Those water Eva water bottles. And then I would sell it for 30 naira to her, and she would sell for 50 naira. So it worked out for both of us because at that point, I had bought like a bag of zobo leaves from home, so it was cheap. She was just making profits. So effectively, my money was doubling. So I could say that I started selling in school. It got to the point where I started to recognize I don't have talent. I can't lie.
What do you
I
wait? First
wait,
of all,
hold on. People have some people can play piano, some people can
no.
dance.
Nobody can play
People can
piano.
draw.
You learn piano.
Wait, hold on. Some people can draw. Some
Uh-huh.
people it's just natural. Some people are the best graphic designers.
Mhm.
Me, but I don't have talent. However, I know people that have talent and I know people that need talent. Middleman talent is my talent. So I started to recognize really talented people and I
Mhm.
would encourage them that you need to package this thing that you're doing, I'll sell it for you. So I will meet people. So for example, I will meet a graphic designer who could make pictures, frames, and all of that. And I will meet people that like, this guy can make pictures and frames for you. This guy can make cards for you. This guy can make shirts for you. And in between the money in the middle, I would take my own and pay the person. So I would have negotiated maybe like a 500 naira price to the person, for example.
Mhm.
And then to the person who is buying, I will now negotiate like a 1,000 naira price.
Mhm.
So I think I started to realize that the people who did not,
Isaac,
who were
wait.
selling,
How do
make
you now
money.
say you don't have talents?
I
How?
don't have the kind of talent that they used to call talent.
Okay.
anyhow, no, then it wasn't like you would say. So, for example, comedians. I will meet them. I'm like, especially people that are fun. I'm like, do you know you can do like stand-up shows? And so when people have events in school, I'll tell them, I have just the right comedian for you. This guy is good. You pay him 2,000 or 4,000 or 5,000. Say yes. I will go and negotiate 2,000 with the person and then take the money on top. So I started to realize that not having a talent was in itself a talent because the man in the middle made more money than the man who was actually doing the product or the one who was buying, So it was my thing. So that I actually really actively started marketing from school, and it
Mhm.
was something that I took on outside school. Where when I didn't get the job that I wanted to work at or where I wanted to work at, it became what can I do? And the thing that I could do was sell. I could convince people who did not previously plan to buy something to actually buy the thing because of how I talked about the thing. So I
Mhm.
would literally go meet people and say, I can sell your product for you. I will take a commission on everything that I sell. And then they will say yes. So I made my first million from selling land in Katampe to,
Wow.
I don't even know how I met the guy, but I somehow convinced him to buy land from from a church who was selling the land. So I noticed that the church was selling land that they had bought a while ago and they were selling plots. And so I added to 200,000 naira to the plots and started selling it. And then I started making money from there. And then I realized I could literally sell anything. I just needed to sit down and look for who would this be more interesting to. And then it became to the point where it was more about how can I sell it in bulk? Because I'm a lazy person. I cannot do one sales. I'm making small money. So where is the best place to sell this in bulk? So for example, CDMA, I moved to Abuja after school. CDMA came into Abuja. CDMA, the phones that look like GSM, but are not GSM. I don't know if you remember those phones. Anyway, you're Gen Z, you're too young to remember these phones.
Hey God. Hey
So
Father.
they're like the multi-link and the intercellular. So I would go to their office and tell them that I could sell for them, and
Mhm.
I'll add my commission on top of each. So they would already tell me that for everyone you sell, you get a 10% commission. And then they will tell me maybe the amount is like 5,000 or 6,000 or 2,000. Then it was much cheaper, 2,000 or 3,000. And they were
Mhm.
already giving me commission on top of it. But I would go to cooperative societies, unions, meet with the leaders, convince them that if they took this in bulk, they can take the commission on top of it. However, what I was doing was that I was doing a markup. So, for example, if they were selling at 3,000, I'll sell at 4,000 and tell them that actually there's a commission on top of it. So, there's a 10% commission on top of it that you can actually have.
Mhm.
And give them the commission that I was promised. But I would have marked it up. So I was actually making more money than the people who were buying or the people who were selling.
Mhm.
And I would do that in bulk. It was my thing. I hate to sell one or two. I like to sell in bulk. So a cooperative society would take like 150 for their. You can imagine if they were selling at 3,000 and I'm making
Yeah.
1,000 naira. 150 is like 150,000, and they were fine with the 10% on top, whatever. They sometimes will increase it and sell it for their market up for their
Wait, so,
staff.
so let me understand. You sell the product, you add your money on the product, but you still get your commission still. So it's like 150K plus the 10%.
That's the plan.
Isaac,
Usually.
Isaac, your sense.
So it was where I would go to like Ministry of Labor, because I was trying to look for like union people. I would go to like where the Okada Riders Union. I would go to
Those
NURT.
days, when you
I
knew.
would go to cooperative societies, and then I would sell in bulk, especially the ones that had like 1,000 people. They would buy in bulk, and then there are people who would be paying them small because they would have added their interest on top. So they were okay with that. And at some point, I started to do more and meet more people. The best part about sales and marketing is the networking part. For you to be able to market and sell, you have to meet people and talk to people. And so at first, maybe they were buyers, but when they come back, they probably had like something to sell or a deal, or they will refer you. So with sales and marketing, you never actually quite run out of business. There's always work to do. Everybody's selling something. Everybody is selling something. Marketing is like water. Sooner than later, every business will need it.
This, you know when they quote that thing, maybe they'll just put on brainy quotes or something. Marketing is like water. Sooner or later, everybody will need it.
Everybody will need it, yeah.
All right.
Everybody who has a business will need to sell.
If you see somebody saying that thing without permission, you can go and sue them.
I will do like Sabinus and charge them.
You understand?
Like but I probably picked it up from somebody, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
Probably not my own. I must have read it somewhere.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So first of all, I just want to say, for somebody that Zobo has been you, Ized has confirmed that Zobo is the way, right? In case of you was doubting. But then,
that was school, though. I didn't do Zobo outside of school.
But like, I mean, you were in the days whereby strike was not like that, right? I suppose.
But there was still strike from time to time, yes.
Oh, okay.
So there was even during strike, I would go to private universities, go to like the final year students, and ask to write their what do you call it, final year projects, or like their seminars, because I could research and write. So I did that too. I did that. I know that I bought a car for that, to be honest.
A cow.
Car. Vroom. Motor. I
was like, cow. It's concern this to that.
No, but the way I like meat, I can buy cow. But it's vroom that I'm talking about.
Is like in uni you bought car with the money you got?
No. Just after I graduated, before I got my results out, I was going to. I hope they will not charge me for this, because I don't know if it's illegal. I was going to get it on university to help them do their assignments and their seminars and research for their projects. And those kids, they have money, and they were lazy, so they will pay me and I will do it. I put this inside a flash drive and go and give to them, and they will submit it. So it was steady, regular income.
Like you are. When they are talking, when they always say Nigerians are good guitars, Nigeria XYZ, entrepreneur, never done.
But I've given my life to Christ, please. I'm focused on the straight and narrow. I do not cheat for people. Please, we have to put that out there. I have since changed. I'm focused. However, if people want to write business plans and pitch decks and all of that, I can do it because it's legal. But writing assignments wasn't, and I have to say that I have changed.
I wasn't even talking about that, but
I will just put it out there in case your listeners are thinking.
Okay, you don't give person idea already, so I don't know.
Don't do it in Jesus' name.
Okay. For people listening, go and do Zobo. Don't go and do assignments. All
Or
right.
seminar project. Projects pay better, but don't do it. But projects pay better. Seminars pay even better than assignment. But don't do it. Don't do it.
Ah,
Just and private school students are the best targets because they are lazy. I mean, they're not lazy in Jesus' name, but they don't have time. But don't do it. I'm just saying, don't do it.
you don't disclose the whole package.
No,
Everything.
no, no. You have to disclose the package so that you tell them not to do it. To not go to schools like a Canadian university to ask them that you want help. Their parents are already paying so much on school fees that it's not fair. They should do the assignments by themselves, but don't do it. I'm just saying.
Omo, man. I can't. It's giving, I don't know. It's
It's
giving
giving,
something.
it's giving Yahoo.
You never reach that one. Okay. But all right. So you transition from your university in Edo State and somehow found your place, right, in Abuja. Why Abuja,
Yeah.
first of all? I mean, there's Lagos. I mean, we can even argue there's Port Harcourt, right? Even in the north, right, depending, because of especially what we're doing, there are a lot of businesses in the north. Like, why Abuja of all places?
First of all, I wasn't trying to go and market in Abuja. I was
Mhm.
trying to go and get a job, a full-time job. I had my eyes set on a company called now they're Legend. Then they were Suburban Telecoms.
Okay.
I read about them in the newspaper one day, and then they featured the entire team, and all the guys there were looking very fine. I was like, I have to work
I
here.
said, wants to go and shoot a shot.
So I actually went to Abuja because of man, I can't lie.
Okay.
My boyfriend at the time was in Abuja,
All
and I
right.
thought, so that we won't do long distance relationship. He wasn't in Abuja, he was in Loring. We planned that, we would jam in Abuja because he had an uncle, and so it was like meet in the middle.
Mm,
Yeah. And
okay.
so, and then I wanted to work at Sullivan anyways. So I planned, I must have frustrated the CEO's life because somehow I got hold of his email and I wrote to him and wrote it. He replied one time and said he has forwarded it to the team that is in charge. They will get back to me, but they never got back to me. You know what's weird? I ended up working for him years later, maybe like 9 years later or 8 years later. And I told him,
Wow.
if you had hired me then, we would not be having this problem now. But he's good. He's more of a friend now than an ogre.
Okay.
He's good people now. But then I used to see cool kids walking in suburban, looking all nice with their suit. And then I went for one birthday party, and of somebody that worked there, and he invited his teammates. I was like, shit, I have to work here. Can I say shit? Because I just said shit. Can you delete that?
Okay.
I was like, shit, I have to work. Oh, I said it again. I have to
All
work.
right, don't worry.
And then I tried and tried, and the trial did not try me back,
Well,
which
why
was
do you think
bad.
they did not try you? Is it because like they
I
saw
think it was because
chemistry and
no. I think it was because I pestered the guy too much. Because at some point he reported me to my cousin, who
eh?
I got the email. I got the email from my cousin. So
Okay.
he reported me to my cousin that I am spamming him or I'm bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I was greeting him every morning and reminding him that he promised me a job.
Every morning.
It was a bit too much, to be honest. Sometimes 2 times a day, but yeah. I wanted the job there now. I ended up working in a suburban like a few months after, but it wasn't that suburban. It was some other suburban. Laila Bode, who is in Lagos now, by the way.
Okay.
And yeah, I worked there for a bit and then decided, I wanted to do sales and marketing full time because that was my forte. No matter how much I ran away from it or thought, I studied biochemistry, so I should be a biochemist or go back to study medicine. It
Mm,
felt like everything I was doing was somewhat selling people or selling platforms. So I went back to it. And
mm,
that's what I've done since then. For digital marketing, I sort of just fell into it because of a situation. And I've been stuck here. So I can do offline and I can do online. And that's sort of what we give to our clients the 360 angle to it, the ability to tell their stories from different angles to reach the target audience that they're trying to reach. And then to sell in bulk, as opposed to selling one and growing small and wasting all that money. We sell in bulk.
Is that why you
In numbers.
on tech?
Sort of, kind of. So with Lose Media, which was the agency I was at before this one, because it was a private equity invested agency, we had targets in terms of how much we were supposed to do monthly. And I saw all of these startups with really awesome ideas dying a marketing debt. I say it's a marketing debt because they had great ideas, but their target audience did not know of them. And so what was really good will not make it big, especially if the person was trying to bootstrap or come from. And we couldn't afford to market for them because we were an agency that charged high. So there was no meet in the middle. And so with Zedi, that's what we aim to cut out. Be an agency that is able to meet these people where they are. So sometimes we even take equity for marketing, especially when we think that these people are really good. And if we are able to market for them, they would get funding and grow traction. So we say sometimes, give us equity. We're okay with equity, and then we'll market for you. And then when you raise, our equity will be high, and then we can either decide to sell it or keep it. Yeah. So being able to make startups at that point is where we decided is why Zedi actually is a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on this sense. Like you go bath inside sense. I don't know which pool you enter, but like
I have talent. So we do talentless.
Somebody will listen with you, and you even discourage somebody that actually doesn't have talent. Like listening to you and like she say I don't have talent. Oh God, what about myself?
No, it's not like that.
Okay, so I'll just go a bit more into actual marketing and branding in Nigeria. I'll just start with like some stats, right? I mean, 2021, according to Statista, the revenue for ad in Nigeria was $793 million, right? And basically, by calculations, by 2023, it should be 133 million US dollars. I'm talking about like, because I think a lot of Nigerians are on Facebook and a lot of social media networks, right? So Facebook did this thing where they did a report of the demography, their ad sales, right, per region. And for Nigeria, right, at the start of 2022, 41.2% of Facebook's ad audience in Nigeria was female, right, while 58% was male. I'll come back to this, but let me just finish. Google's advertising resources indicate that YouTube, right, this is all about Nigeria, had 32 million users in Nigeria in 2020. That's like before, I think, first quarter of 2022. That's what this figure is about. And the reach was like of YouTube in terms of ads was 15.4%, right? I mean, we all know the people that used to download so that they would not care about it. But let's not talk about that. Anyways, and YouTube's ad, it reached 30 points. So of YouTube's 32.90%, 32.9 million users, right? 30%, right, receive ads basically in Nigeria. That's about what, 9 million-ish thereabout. So I just want us to just dwell on these numbers for now, right? I mean, 2021 to 793 million US dollars. By 2023 to be 133 million US dollars, right? And Facebook has basically, it's more in terms of marketing, right? It's more leaning towards more women, 58.18%, right? And we are seeing that YouTube is going bigger in Nigeria at the end of the day. So for you as a marketing company, what are you hearing as I'm saying this thing, right? What does that mean to you? And basically, yeah?
Go ahead. Basically what? I want to hear the end of the question.
Okay. And basically, like, how do you see opportunity or problems in the long run? Because you're also like in offline at the same time.
Okay, so first off, I have to say this. I don't know if it sort of tallies with your question, but as you asked, how do I see opportunities and problems in the long run? Is I always see problems as every time there's an issue or a problem, to me, it sort of works out as an opportunity if you look at it from if you take yourself outside of it, especially when you think you are in the middle of the problem. If you take yourself outside of it, there's always an opportunity in every problem. So I'll give you an example. A couple of years ago, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, there was the it's not Ebola, the rat one. What's it called?
Lassa
The
fever.
one Lassa fever, that we're announcing that Lassa fever is coming. It had been discovered in the northern states, was now in Okpila, in Kogi states. It was sort of turning towards Lagos. And news has started to tell people, protect yourself, it's carried by rats, it's done this, and and I was with a couple of friends and they were complaining, Lagos, where there's always rats. How can we do this? And it felt like a really major problem. But what I was seeing then was an opportunity, because I was sitting outside of it and I was thinking, fam, how can I get into this? So what I did was, I went to buy all this chemical spraying equipment, anti-rats, fumigation kits and everything, and started a mini fumigation company that I didn't even run by myself. I got somebody
a fumigation company.
If anybody calls, I will give them. If anybody gives, I will give them. We fumigated so many houses. So what we will do was we will retweet every news that's talked about the Lassa fever, and then underneath we then say we will fumigate your houses for you against rats. And then we fumigated. We made money from fumigating houses in Lekki, in VI, in Bagada. I know we did some Ikeja houses. We did some Ilupeju houses. But we were making money from fumigation, just fumigating. Some people sat outside of that problem and worried about it. Some people sat outside of that problem and thought, how can
I'll make money? I said,
so that in every time that people start to talk about certain things that they think is a problem, what I want to do is sit outside of it and say, how can I make money from this? Like Hire for Star, for example. When we started Hire for Star, although now Nigerian startups are using it, it wasn't targeted at Nigerian startups. It was targeted at international startups who were paying so much money, but there was a what they call the market was in the, is it the bearish mode?
Bearish, bullish, right?
Oh, bearish is when it's going down.
Yeah.
Anyway, market was bad, and stocks where crypto was dipping, kept on dipping, still dipping, and people had to lay off staff. But one of the most important part of your team is your marketing, and just by keeping every staff, they had to pay like pension, there were benefits that they had to pay, pension, and tax, and all of that other things that came with hiring staff. And I was reading a thread one day when somebody said if they could recruit their marketing team on a contract basis, and sort of inspired that thought about, we're already doing this on a very low-key basis. Why don't we do it for like international brands? Is why Hire for Star became full-blown, and then we started targeting like international companies who hire from Nigeria and other African countries, because we're no longer focused on just Nigerian teams.
Sorry, can I?
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, a matter of of a profit conversation, in the sense that obviously when you're doing international companies, right, you charge them in foreign currencies, and you like Nigerian companies, right? You obviously,
so yes, you can't charge as much as you're charging.
Exactly.
Yes. Still, there is the fact that the numbers are growing. Still, there's the fact that people are getting jobs. So our goal is, especially when you're solving a problem, you still have to keep your why behind your mind. And our why is to ensure that a lot more marketing and growth people get jobs. And so whether or not we're sending them to a Nigerian company who's only paying them anything between 200 to like 400 a month, there's also people that we are sending. The better you are, the better for us, to international brands who are paying them $2,000, $3,000 a month for the same thing that the content marketer is doing.
You guys are tech bro. This is a marketing bro, a marketing sis.
So for us, it's based on what the international companies want, not necessarily. So we send them a bunch of people, and then they pick out what they want. Still, what we're doing is helping people who are still in Nigeria, who cannot jackpot yet, to get international jobs that pay them better so that they can live better lives. And it's about staying outside of the problem instead of worrying about, oh God, this thing is going to affect us. It's about what are the opportunities here? And so when you were calling out these numbers, I was like, oh, good. Because, my head is spinning. So it's saying, opportunity, wakba is plenty shots. So there was a point where to buy a 1 minute ad in certain platforms was very expensive, especially for the kind of companies that we're working with.
Yeah.
So we started doing 15 seconds ads for them, but packaging it as a 1 minute ad and selling it to these platforms and selling. And so we will buy a 1 minute.
Sorry. How do you package a 1 minute ad?
So we will buy a 1 minute ad slot and do 4 15-second ads for our clients. Thereby, they are able to cut a 1 minute ad into 4, and they're now able to pay 1/4. Then we'll take it back to the platform and sell it as and pay for a 1 minute slot. So it's and we made more money than we would have made from the 1 minute slot. So let me give you an example. If the 1 minute slot cost 1,000 naira, and the startups couldn't afford the 1,000 naira, and we broke it into 4 and said, you don't have to pay 1,000, you can pay 400. So each of them then paid 400.
Okay. And
we made the 600 on top and sent the 1,000 to the platform that was. Do you understand? So there's always an opportunity in every chaos or in every situation, in everything that people are looking at, that they tend not to see because they're too focused on the problem. And so that's maybe that's my talent, to be able to step outside of the entire thing and say, what's the opportunity here, and how can we make it work, and how can we make money from it? And it's been a couple of things. It's been like a series of things, from selling bread to cleaning houses. And when I say sell bread, people typically think, sell bread in small quantities. I mean, there's stories for days. I don't even know that you have the time for the stories. There's stories for days. So we bread.
Tell me about the bread, though.
Okay, so we bread. I was broke. I just had a baby. I was a single mom at the time. And, my folks were angry with me. It was the same guy that I went to Abuja for, by the way. So things happened. My folks were angry with me, and I moved back to Abuja with my baby. And I'd gotten to the point where I hadn't worked for a bit. So I'd gotten to the point where I was down to my last 15 naira. And, they used to sell this pick 1 to 3 sachet milk for 15 naira. So I stood at my gate and I was looking out. Not the gates, what they call this iron gates at the door of your house. I stood there and I was looking out and I was thinking, should I go and beg for my neighbor for pap, and then use this 15 naira to buy pick 1 to 3 milk so that my baby can eat sweet pap pending my next money? Or should I use this 15 naira to just buy pap so I don't have to beg, so that my baby can eat pap for a while, but without milk? It's not like he would even notice the difference. He would just be choppy. So I was actually contemplating at the gate there, and then I saw a car. It had passed before, it passed again, and it was passing the third time. I was like, these ones are lost. So I pushed up.
Where were you in Abuja?
At the time I was in Jabi Airport Road Junction. I can't remember the name of the estate now, but it comes to my head from time to time. Something caught. So I pushed open and it was a big estate. So I pushed open my gate bar and I asked, are you looking for somebody? So they said so I walked. They said, please come. It was a mama that was sitting on the passenger side. It was a truck. So she said, please come. So I walked to her. She said, she is, and I couldn't go far because my baby was sleeping inside. And she said, they are looking for the places where they can deliver bread in the estate. They are a new bread company. So they were looking for estates where they can deliver bread to people that were selling bread. So I was like, I can sell bread.
Sorry, go ahead. They came with their car. They were just going up and down without.
So they were looking for the spots where, and those spots were actually hidden like behind houses. If you didn't live in the estate, you didn't know where the spots were.
Okay. So like
So
security gate positions. That's where they were.
where people were selling stuff so that they can supply bread to them. And they had gone round the first time. I noticed, then they went round again. So it was the third time I asked, "Are you looking for somebody?" And she said I should come. I was like, "Oh, wait, I can sell the bread for you now." She said, "For real?" I said, "Yes, I can sell the bread for you." And then she said, "Okay, great." And she gave me one loaf of bread, by the way. Lunch. And then she was like, "I'm going to try you out with 10 loaves of bread. Can you afford it?" I could not afford it, but the bread she was selling for 500. She then said she would give to me at 400 if I sold it at 500
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. There was 100 naira markup on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then gave me one additional loaf of bread. So I had a loaf of bread, and I decided, by the way, to buy the pap without the 1, 2, 3 milk. Came back, made the pap, and then I went round and sold my bread. People bought the bread for me because I was selling. So I had that day I had like 100 naira from 10 loaves of bread, or was it 15 naira from 10 loaves of bread? I think I made 500 naira. I remember making 500 naira, so maybe there was a 15 naira markup, not a 100 naira markup. So I sold the
Sorry,
bread. I
did you
made
go like to individual homes and like I said, or like you
Yes,
went
I
to
actually went to homes of people that I knew.
uh
Then, because it was only 10 loaves, so I went to homes of people that I knew, and like, and the bread wasn't bad, and it was fresh because they had brought it from the oven. It was soft. So I was like, I'm selling bread, though. And then they bought from me. Even most of them might not have wanted, but they bought from me. So I said, okay, I'm going to be selling bread in my house. By the time they came the next morning, the 10 bread was finished, and I gave them the money. It was 450, I remember, because I gave them 4,500 and I kept 500. Now I could buy pap and more, 3 to 1. I had 500 and I was a big babe. So they dropped 20 loaves this time. And I went out and I sold. And then they kept on coming and they were dropping bread. At some point, I sat down. I was like, I can't do this 500 or 1,000. It doesn't make any sense. My son, the only reason why we're still together and the only reason why I wasn't working was that I couldn't afford crutch at the time. So one evening, I tied my son on my back, took a notepad and pen. There are a lot of houses in the estate. Kingscourt Estate. Kingscourt Estate. I remember.
Eureka.
And so I went house by house and knocked on each door. And I was like, "Do you eat bread? What days do you eat bread? How many loaves of bread do you want on those days that you eat bread? I will supply you bread. You don't have to buy from town. I will supply you really good bread." So by the time I was done in the estate that day,
You went round the whole estate.
I went round. I was almost dead by the time I came back. I was tired.
Ised, if nobody has
Hold on.
well,
By the time I sat down, I was doing 500 bread a day. So when I called the people that were bringing 20 loaves of bread, I said, "Please bring 500. They thought I was mad. I was like, "I'm serious. You need to bring 500 loaves of bread to me." So I started supplying, and I was doing major money. I was a mover and shaker of the society. So I was now able to afford to put my son in a crutch. And then once I put my son in the crutch, I went to all these MFB banks. When they want to give you loans, they'll tell you to come bring a business plan. So during the day, I would go and ask people that were looking for business plans that I could write their business plans for them. I also had somebody who was inside that would take the business plans at 40K and give me at 20K, or take the writing of the business plans at 60K and then give me to write at 30K. So I would go collect my slot. I was able to buy a small laptop, a hand, by the way, this one that actually had the screen and and the desktop. Plug it in the morning. They supply my bread. They used to supply bread sometime around 11, 12, or sometimes in the evening.
wait, the
But I
500
would
was
take
daily. You're getting 500 daily.
500 daily,
Like
500 loaves of bread.
daily.
Yes. Some days were not 500 loaves, but Mondays were definitely 500 loaves because on Mondays, a lot of people wanted to eat bread. So there were a lot of houses in the compound. Just think that I was supplying two bread to each of these houses, two loaves of bread to each of these houses. And there was another estate right opposite. I can't remember the name too, but if it comes to me, I'll say the name. So I was supplying bread to both estates. So in the morning, I will have my bath, put my son in crèche, go to the MFB bank, collect my work for the day, go to a cyber cafe, research everything that I needed to research, download it in my hard drive or in my disk so that I can come home to write. I would write, then go pick my son from school. By then, my bread will be available, and I'll put it on my head. Those baskets that have holes, then I'll go and supply the first batch, come and pick the second batch, go and supply, come back and pick the third batch. I wasn't broke anymore, fam. I had money. See.
You're a baby girl
So
now.
again, like I said, I don't like to sell one. I like to sell in bulk. And so when I did that, it became that I started having some cool cash. I was not late on rent anymore. Food, there was food in my kitchen. My son was eating pap and 3-to-1 milk. Well, and it was getting fat and it was going to crash. But somebody saw me at the junction. Somebody from school saw me at the junction. I was like, see this one. All your book that you know in school, this is bread that you're selling. And it was very embarrassing. So I decided to get a job. Guess what? I got a job that was paying me less than 150 a month. Do you know how much I was making from bread in a month? I was hitting maybe like 150,000, maybe more, 200,000 a month. I was making a lot of money from
selling bread.
And because somebody laughed at me, I went to do this stupid thing to go and get a job that I will now wake up in the morning, go, then they'll talk to you anyhow, talk to you anyhow.
You left the bed?
I thought I was going to be able to do the two, but when you come back from work and you're tired and you pick up your son from crèche and you're making dinner, there's no time to go and supply bread. The mama was so angry with me because I was her biggest salesperson. She was so much. But instead of just so she started supplying to the malams in the estate, and they started supplying me less and less and less. One day it just stopped. So, like I said, opportunity.
Sounds like a very sad story.
I know it was supposed to be an inspiring story, but they ended up sad. There's opportunity in every chaos that happens to you, and I think that the best part is to be able to step outside of yourself and look at it.
I mean, as a Nigerian, you're like in a gold mine in that case, like because problem is
they can drop me in a village in Kogi State. I mean, I'm not saying that Kogi State is bad. That just came out randomly. They can drop me. They can drop me anywhere, and I will still be able to make a living in a few days because my talent might not be like playing music, but it's about sitting down and saying, how can I make the best out of every situation? So, and that is what brings me to answer your particular question, where you said all of this data and all of these stats. There's always some way to make it work for you. Does it mean that more and more people are doing ads? Do you want to set up an ads type network or an ads type platform that helps people do ads easily, which is what we're already doing with Growth Stack? Help people do their ads easily and fast. Do you want to, train more people in doing ads? We're also doing that because now there'll be more users needing to do ads. And so if you train the right people to do ads, there'll be more people who will be doing ads and giving people a livelihood. Do you want to say, I think the thing, regardless of the stats and the numbers and the number of people there, is to look at the situation and say, what's the best use case for this, especially in Nigeria or in Africa or in this climate, generally, globally, and how can I make the best use of the situation? So, yeah, there is opportunity everywhere. I mean, my story should have convinced you that there's opportunity everywhere.
Like, over convinced. But wait, I just wanted to ask, right? I mean, we've heard from university and everything, but like in secondary school, were you also like this and as a child? Or did it start like as a university thing?
I think,
yeah.
I don't know that I recognized it in secondary school. Maybe they had allowed us sell things in secondary school. I went to a Catholic boarding house, so it wasn't particularly like I could sell that much. Plus, I was a very timid secondary school student.
Oh, you went. In case you're shy, you have hope.
I'm actually still quite shy, but people don't know.
How can you be a marketer and be shy? It doesn't go along.
So that's the thing. If I'm talking about marketing or around work or career, I can talk for 2 hours. If I'm making small talk, I'm done in 2 minutes. Like, fam, I can't make small talk. Like, how are you? Fine. How's your eyes? Fine. What do you think about
your eyes? What's that?
I mean, people ask all sorts of silly things. What do you think about the weather? The weather is fine. Weather is cool. I'm
Oh,
done. Like at that point, I'm done. But if you come at me with like, so I said, so what do you think of this? You have me talking for days. And it doesn't even have to be marketing. It can literally be any field. I like to talk like a diverse range of conversations, tech, crypto, Web3. I throw it at me. I like to share my ideas and I like to learn. So especially if you know what you're talking about, I would sit down and just be oogling my eyes at you and be listening to you because I'm soaking up the information. But if you want to try that, so you're fine. You're fine. Oh, so what next? Me too. What next? Those conversations usually die very fast.
oh, well, so somebody,
I'm
anyways,
telling you, those conversations die
all
very,
right.
very fast. I can go to a party and in 10 minutes, I want to go home. I want to go
So,
home.
I mean, in that sense,
I have a social limit with people. Me
mm,
and people, I don't. I have a limit. I can dress up. I'm like, I'm going to the club. Today we will club. Today we will show them the Gen Z part of us. And then I'm in the club and I'm like, shit, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home.
okay.
I'm sorry that I'm making this your supposed to be serious.
Oh, like I love it. I love it. I think by the first of all, like, how why do you think I'm Gen Z? I never ever asked that, right? And then like by the order of whatever Gen Z institutes, I think you can officially apply. You know, if you want to change, just in case you want to
I
become.
am.
Gen
I've already changed.
Oh,
See,
you have changed.
it's just that I cannot edit my passport. But
Ah,
technically,
I know in
I'm Gen Z.
Lagos.
This is not proper to put on Spotify.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
But could see, you know how people are guys and they say they identify as women, and how people are women and they say they identify as men, and how people are human beings and then they say they identify as trees or as animal. I identify as a Gen Z. Whether people like it or not, I identify as a 24-year-old. By the way, I mean
You're
a smart 24-year-old. But the thing is, I want to keep my age and still be Gen Z. It's like,
I mean, you're doing fantastic at that at the moment, I guess.
very much. Thank you very much.
And I
No,
think
but they like going to the club and staying there till the next morning. That's the only thing I
I
can't
don't
do properly.
okay, I don't know. Like you have assumed I'm a Gen Z. What if I'm not?
No,
Like
no, no. I'm not talking about you. You don't look like somebody that goes to the club.
okay. But there are some Gen Zs that oh man. There tends to be the one I know for sure, right? Is resignation. You know that there was a time that like Gen Z HR and Gen Z people. I don't know if you read that trend. That trend.
Yeah, I did. I saw it.
I,
Yeah, frustrating terror everywhere. But I'm lucky. I'm lucky, maybe because it's because I also identify as one of them. Because we have a bunch of Gen Zs in the office,
mm,
and for some reason we have, in fact, no, we haven't lost anybody. Zero, zero. My team, except the ones that were going to other organizations that pay them better.
yeah.
And when somebody tell you their new salary and you can't argue with them, like
I,
go,
go. Go.
just because because whatever God that led you there,
You sustain.
just
Oh.
imagine paying somebody like 10,000 naira, and then they come and tell you that their new salary is 80,000 naira. Like, wow, I I go with the Lord.
Can
I
I tell
respect
you?
you. Can I carry your bag? So
Uh,
it's, but we've only had like one or two of that.
okay.
One, because we did have two, but one of them we couldn't let him go for very long, so we brought him back and then offered him the salary that he was going to be earning. Because they see like that. But most of my teammates actually have stayed.
Mm,
Um, I've been with them, I've worked with them for years. I mean, going on 2 years now.
mhm.
Even if Zeda is only 4 months, we were at Lose Media together. And when I resigned Lose Media that I was going to start Zedi, I saw that the very next day, a lot of other people were resigning too. I was like, where are you people going to? Zedi? We are going with you anywhere you go. We're your roots.
Your God will be my God. Your people will be my
And
people.
so,
Roots
and
now.
me, I wasn't planning to immediately start Zedi. I was thinking that I will relax for like 3 months and start Zedi. But it was like, how will these people eat now that they have resigned? So started Zedi immediately. So I've been lucky. People say because of how I act. I
Mhm.
sort of empathize with people at every stage where they are. I have my bad sides. Please, it's not but when you come online, you sell only the good sides. So I'm focused on selling only the good sides. But I'm sure, even if I haven't quite noticed what it is yet, I'm sure that I have my bad sides.
Mm.
I
Do
don't know what.
a survey in your your organization.
So my people are somewhat partial to me. So when I do those kind of surveys, I'm like, I said, to be very honest, you're very okay. It's just sometimes you overwork yourself, or you overwork and you expect us to give the same amount of. Uh, but I've also noticed that you have to beg Gen Zs to do overwork.
You
One
understand?
of my one of my staff yesterday told me that he was hailing me and I didn't fall for his hailing. He now says because I'm an Edo woman and Edo people are witches. This is literally my stuff. Because I'm an Edo woman and Edo people are witches. I was like, fam, do you know I'm your CEO? He said, I said what I said. That's a joke for you. By the way, his name is Demola, guys. You people, I'm suffering from Demola in my office. His name is Ademola.
Shout out.
Aderina. Aderinale. And then he'll say something, and I'm like, fam, Demola, do you know I'm your CEO? Like, I said what I said. But he's really smart, and I actually really love working with him. Beyond that, one day I'll catch him on the streets and I'll ensure that I have guys that are going.
They go change it for
I no, I no go ever beat them now. In case they beat him, nothing, I'm not toxin am you. His mouth. He has bad mouth. I'm sure he does it to everybody else.
Oh, okay. I was just also thinking like now, so you guys, it sounds like purely B2B. Do you think of a time probably maybe you do B2C? Because in Nigeria, we're seeing a lot of personal brands coming out, right? Like
Oh, we
people
do.
are brand.
We do businesses actually. We have
Oh,
about 2 top CEOs, top of the line.
mm,
No,
mm.
I'm selling their market. Top people that we're doing personal branding for. Amazing people. I mean, I
Isaac,
don't know if you call
Isaac,
their name.
Isaac, understand.
Anyway, so we have 2, and it's not like a test run for us. If it's working out, but as it goes, we'll probably do more.
Okay. Then like on your staff composition as well, are they more? I mean, you can decide not to say anything, but like, are they more? Do you think there are more people that
Like,
graduate from communications, or they're just like random people from different places but have interest in communication? So is there a correlation basically between degree studied or versus interest?
so I studied biochemistry. The CEO studied biochemistry. How would we now focus on? See, when we want to hire is by skills and talent. So I can safely tell you, it's randomly that I discover what people studied in school. I don't think we ever get to the point where we ask them, what did you study? What's your certificate? Maybe it's on their CVs though. But when we get to the CVs, we are looking at experience and skills, and then we are testing them on that talent. Some people will reach out to them because we already noticed their skills and talents working with other organizations. And then we reach out to them and we poach them. We never quite get to the point to ask them, did you study communications in school, or what did you study in school? I literally, and I'm not joking, I randomly find out what people studied in school or what school they went to. For example, I found out that my assistant didn't study, I can't remember the name of the school, but he called the school that he went to. Then I have somebody in my office, and then I was teasing. I was like, you must have gone to school in Ibadan. It's like, I didn't go to school. Like, what? I didn't go to university. I was like, okay. Wow. And that's like one of our really good staff or team members. So it's not so much about what they studied in school anymore. It's about talent and what they are bringing to the table. Nobody's really looking at what they studied anymore. I know that I'm not. I know for a fact that I'm not looking at show me your senior school, your university certificate, or
Why are
do you
people
have?
now going to school, Isaac? Like, justify
I don't
it.
know. My son asks me every morning, like, why do I have to go to school when I want to become an animation somebody, an animator?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm already doing the animating, and I'm already studying from YouTube. Why do I have to go to? I said the next generation when they come, they will show us Pepe. You think Gen Z is that? Pepe, I'm expecting Pepe.
Not sure us prepare in Jesus' name, oh. Please.
They will show, they see. It's good. Sorosoke generation is making things turn around. This Gen X or Gen Y or whatever Gen they are at now, they will not even take, they will soak it before they sorrow. They will scream before you actually hear what they are saying. They will not take nonsense from nobody.
But do you think, like, okay, this is, I see two sides here, in the sense that, especially when it comes to, even for your staffs, right? I'm going to pose this question in the sense that these new generations, they tends to be arguments that they are not loyal at all, right? Or at least that their loyalty at least lies. So there's this thing called liquid democracy. And I'm just explaining before I get to my points, but to be clear. So liquid democracy is just a form of democracy that mixes direct and indirect democracy. And the point is that there are some people that are advocating for particular issues, right? So instead of having senators, for example, what you have are like people advocates for certain issues. And so the agreement is that, okay, when different people meet, so these people with different advocate, like different things on top of their head, right? These different advocates meet, right? They're representing people that want that particular thing done, instead of, I don't know, a Kano a Kano North person, right, that represents Kano people, right? It's like, okay, we want Nigerian Premier League to become a nationally owned something or something like that. And people are like, and there are like 3 million Nigerians that are doing that, right? From different places in Nigeria, from 36 states. So like the different people will align under this decision. And so it now go to the house and then they advocate for it. But then you can also lose your position as an advocate if you go against the interest of this idea or like this thing you're trying to push. Anyways, this is just to say that on the one hand, right, this is a generation that's very, very attached to what they believe in. And like if you cross the line by mistake, they will cancel you, they will leave you, right? They don't even think twice, right? They will just go. Right. And that's and in a way, right, that differs from the past generation. I don't know, like you can make of it whatever you want, but the past generation, the loyalty is to the person, right? People were loyal to people, like people were loyal to their mentors, people were loyal to their cousins, people were loyal to. But this one is like, oh man, I know what I want. This is my idea. These are my views. And like once you cross the line, if you had even been friends before, we might not talk anymore. So as an employer, right, as a CEO, and as somebody that in the future, as you said, marketing always been there, right? How are you thinking about these things? Because what if you clash with them, right? And because it's very possible they all just decide to pack one day and leave you. What will happen?
I haven't quite thought of it like that because I'm optimizing for them to stay. I'm optimizing on a daily basis for them to stay. Our head of people is focused on optimizing for that. Is why if you work at, I mean, it's multiple things. We try to meet people at the point of what can we solve, what problems can we solve for you. So we try to meet people at that point. So, for example, if it is if they are needing to come to work certain days, what can we do better? Should we provide transportation for them to come to work? If they come to work, should we provide lunch? How is the work environment? Is it mentally tasking? Is it making them not want to stay?
If it's mentally tasking.
Well, it is working in an agency is generally mentally tasking, but they sort of enjoy mentally tasking for some reason. These people are weird. as long as they enjoy the job, they will do it. But how can we also ensure that we're optimizing for them? For them, there's work-life balance is important. How are we ensuring that, that they're getting that as well? And we're optimizing for them to stay. So we really don't think of the bad part where all of them will go and live at us at once, because we hire people that have hearts and are good people. And we hope to God, and they're growing, right? Some of them come young, and then they learn, and then they grow, and then there's all of that. So they're growing. So it's there's that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as we begin to round up, I want to ask you now basically your thoughts on the structural challenges of marketing in Nigeria, right? And by this I mean policy wise, I mean just payments wise. So just the structure of marketing as a business in Nigeria, like what annoys you about it?
I cannot say that because I plan to be in marketing for very long. How are you asking me about the structural challenge and you're going to put it online? Are you against me or my business? Are you asking me to talk about the government is very good. Government, you are very good.
Oh my God.
Bringing people up and what else to do? What else can I say? Please just quickly give me one. Whatever it is that government should be doing, please. I'm pro government. Please let the business just stay. Please, I'm really trying. Please, you close the other one. Don't close this one in Jesus' name. So I started an Okada Riders Academy, Torah, and Lagos State government came and banned Okada riding and shut down. Exactly. So please, I'm saying that I'm pro anything that Lagos State and generally government in general think policy wise, as long as they leave my business to continue to grow and thrive, and do it. But still, fam, it is weird where people just, without necessarily consulting the industry, come up with solutions for the policies and regulations, and that almost shut down businesses. And it's not just us. It's not just us that are doing the marketing. It's about the tech companies that we're marketing for. And you see a tech company that is doing very well and has the potential to bring more in terms of value and money into the system. Tech companies are doing more for Nigeria than oil and gas right now. And as opposed to supporting them, you are coming up with policies and regulations that are shutting them down. There's no consulting the industry. There's no everybody, stakeholders come together. Let's come up with a policy and regulation that works for everybody. KYCs and all of that protects users, I understand. Those regulations I understand. But when you come up with a regulation that sort of just shut an entire ecosystem down,
But
I don't know.
I don't like. Even with the KY, like
I'm talking fintech now.
Okay. Like at the end of the day, they don't really do it because the trend is what we see is that what they banned, they kind of try to have a new way of doing by themselves. So it's now because like an issue of control.
No, them by themselves doesn't work. By themselves doesn't
exactly work. Right. So the KY, that says the know your customer aspect of we're trying to protect our customer, all that thing. Like it tends to fall. It tends to be very. Let me not use the word, but anyways, it doesn't work, right? And we see that the very thing they put a particular policy for, but after they lift it, right, or something, you find them doing it's like, okay, this my guy now. Oh, he did good outside, right? And maybe he's selling bread in that place, but it's not that it's not like I've me to out sell bread, though. That's the thing. I don't sell bread, right? So I will just gotta tell some go and block that road, right? And then I can start selling bread.
Yeah, that happens. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for them.
Yeah. Okay. So the major thing I got from you is conversation, right? There needs to be a sitting down of stakeholders, there needs to be agreement, right? I think the startup bill in Nigeria is just I just love it, right? Because for me, it's the idea of pushing a bill in for for a particular ecosystem, and that's interesting to me because I think in Nigeria we'll see more and more of ecosystems, just taking things into their own hands and literally going to the house, right, and the Senate and say, "Oh my man, like it's enough is enough. We need a particular framework that will help us thrive, and not literally slaughter our necks each day." Okay. Okay, so Isaac, thank you so much for your time today. I'll just ask a final question, right? What
The
is your
final question,
eh?
like the $1 million question, like, who wants to be a millionaire? Now that we are the
Okay, I should not say final question. So as we conclude in this session, Isaac, is that
very
better?
that's
All right, as we are concluding, but the problem in Nigeria and like speech is that as I round up, and the roundup is 1 hour. But anyways, what is your so two things, right? What is the dream for? I don't know if even if it's Zedi or something much bigger than that, because it's like you're starting to create higher foster is under you guys. So it's like there will be Zeda will be a mogul, quote unquote, right? Of marketing. This is the way I see
a
it.
group. Yeah.
So what is the dream for that aspect, that dream of Zedi? And then what is your Nigerian dream?
For me, with Zedi, when I started Zedi, I had like all sort of ideas in my head of where we wanted to go to, or where we wanted to be, or how we wanted to be this global company that was marketing, to be like top 5 global marketing companies. And then as we go on, I'm thinking, and I have said it before, as we go on, I'm thinking, how about the companies that we market for become top 2 or top 1 or top 5? Um, that's the boast to hit our chest and say this company came to us when they were like at ground level, and look at where we've taken them to at this level. And this company came to us at this level, and look at where we've taken them to at that level. And build a company or a group of companies that solves so that provides solutions for startups and makes them thrive, especially within the African ecosystem. Giving them building Africa generally. And I'm not bullshitting. This is not one of those things you say. It's what the dream has slowly become. Because initially when we started, the plan was to raise, and as the raise isn't particularly coming, and we're bootstrapping, and bootstrapping is working for us. So all of a sudden we're finding, okay, maybe we don't need to raise because we already have customers that are already doing and we're generating revenue. So maybe we don't have to go the route of raising. We're finding out that, okay, where's the balanced focus? And that for me, that focus is, how do we become the agency you come to and you know that you made the best decision you could have ever made for your business? So that's where we want to be. And that's a global thing. I'm not looking to be top 1 or top 2. I think Ogilvy is going to hold that title for the rest of my life. Top marketing agency in the world. Yeah.
Which company, sorry?
Ogilvy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the agency. I'm not talking about the ones in Africa that are like franchises. I'm talking about the actual company. But I didn't say that out. Yeah, it was my neighbor that said it.
Okay.
So beyond that, I just want to be an agency that serves the startups that trust us and serves them well and helps them to reach their KPIs and their goals. Apart from that, Zedi as a group, I know I only spoke about Hire Foster, but there's Growth Stack. I think I mentioned it a bit. And then there's Resource Stack. And there are a couple of other things that are coming under Zedi. And to be the group of companies that ensures that we have like a very high performing team, and our staff is happy to be with us, and our clients are happier to be with us. So that's our general goal in life, and to make enough money to eat well, drive a Benz or 2 or a BMW if you want, once in a while. It's able to walk in and say, I'm going to buy a brand new car because business is not so bad. There's that dream, and to be able to travel the world, there's also that dream. And you can't do all of that if you're not doing well as a business. And so to do well as a business is our goal.
All right. And then for your Nigerian dream, is it Japa also?
No, my Nigerian dream is not Japan, but I might be moving. I might consider moving my family out because they carry us go where we don't know. Airport, Nigeria, they carry us go. I don't know. I had like amazing Nigerian dreams before. Well, now I'm lost. I'm just hoping that whatever it is that we do at this election, we make the right decisions and pick the right people. Because Nigeria has potentials, like a lot of potential, a huge lot of potential, and that we haven't even scratched the surface on because we're spending too much time in religious wars and insecurity and doing all of these things that we're doing. So I hope we pick the right leaders. My Nigerian dream is that we pick the right leaders. I'm not going to push anybody here, but I think everybody should be obedient to the call of God. But I'm not pro anybody here in this conversation. Still, we move with obedience to God's. As a marketing company, you can't be pro anybody because you don't know where your clients are coming from or who your clients are supporting. But I'm obedient to the will of God, and so I'm encouraging everybody to obey God's will. See, I literally was preaching here. I wasn't in support of anybody.
Okay. Your market too. Your market.
I'm focused on building a business that is non-partisan and non-religious and is on the straight and narrow. And I will not, for any reason, support any politician.
You sound like Falz or The Voice Nigeria at this point.
No, I'm just saying we will not support any politician. I mean, publicly, but
okay.
For those who know God, focus on God and be obedient, trust and obey.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, bad leadership destroys businesses. So I
destroys
think
businesses, destroys the country, destroys everything.
Exactly. So even at that, right? I'm seeing more people speaking out, right? I mean, celebrity, like in ratio, right? I think when you look at Nigerian celebrities and Nigeria, popular people, all of that, and other countries, just celebrities and popular people, right? The way Nigerian celebrities, Nigerian well-known people like speak out, politically speaking, right, is actually something that is, I don't know, I tend to smile at it, right? Maybe maybe because the country is so bad that people are like, oh man, like it has reached this point, right? Also, but I think there's just a consciousness, a political consciousness, all around Nigeria, irrespective of field, irrespective of industry and sector, and to the extent to which everybody's interest is at hand, right? I think those kind of steps might be profitable, right, for even those people. So I mean, it might be a selfish thing at the end of the day, right? But there's a good kind of selfishness in life.
Yeah, there's a good kind of selfishness. Still, you will not make me say anything partisan.
I'm not forcing it. Yeah, like the option we're non-partisan option. Like we will never support anybody publicly as well. But I think people should have sense. All right, you have a brain for a reason. That's all I'll personally say. All right. Ized, like it has been so interesting. So deep.
You asked like really good questions. See, I've talked for too long. Typically, by the last question, I'd have been getting bored and been saying, "Come on, let's go now." But even we are good at this, and so I think you should continue. I'm going to listen to all your other previous podcasts.
Oh, thank you. I actually like I don't know if you know Jude DK, Get Equity.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Jude last week. I had a conversation with Register as well the week before, and there's just a lineup, right, of very like you guys, like Nigerians, man. Forget I mean, okay, let me not talk about passports here. We spoke about passport with Jude, but I'll not bring it up again. But anyways, I just feel I believe in the
When
night.
did you have the conversation with Jude?
I had the conversation like me and another person in the eruption, Toby Oraka. I think last week, Friday or Saturday or something like that. Not too far.
I was you. I was you.
Yeah, but like his episode is not really being released until like sometime in next week or 2 weeks from now. But I just
Good because I can push it in time for the um God Equity Startup Festival.
yeah, no, it's coming before. We spoke about that as well. It's coming before okay. It's being published on the 19th of July. His. I mean, I can send you a link to watch it. So if you are interested,
Was it a video or podcast?
no, it's a podcast.
You said to watch it.
Yeah, but so like the way we put, I mean, this is like this is still the podcast, but anyways, the way we publish, right, an option is we have a YouTube. So we have YouTube, like the podcast goes in like different platforms, right? We have our Spotify, which is like permanent, but like we also publish all our podcasts on YouTube. But obviously it's not video. We have like our kind of like the poster of the podcast, right?
Okay.
And but you just hear the sound, right? Because we believe at the end of the day, like not everybody in Nigeria uses Spotify, right? So we don't want to limit the content of what we're sharing to just Spotify as well. We thought of SoundCloud, but I mean SoundCloud is getting old. So like we just do YouTube because everybody.
Loud.
What?
Okay, see, SoundCloud is getting old.
No, but it's the truth now. Will you say BlackBerry is useful again? It's not now. Everybody has left BlackBerry. Sorry. Maybe I'll do interview with SoundCloud person now. I'll spoil my market.
Exactly my point.
But anyways, we're just transitioning to something that is much more. People can download YouTube videos, right? So you can download the podcast if you don't have Spotify subscription or whatever. So that's just our thinking in this line. But so that's why I said like I can send it to you if you want to watch it, so I can listen to the conversation.
No problem. I probably will listen to it even if you didn't send it to me.
Okay, no problem. Ized,
when are you publishing mine?
so yours comes 1 week after. Yeah, so probably just a day or two before. Are you going for the Get Equity Festival?
We're organizing the festival, but yeah.
Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay. So yes.
What's your handle? I follow you on Twitter.
We're actually more on Instagram than Twitter. So it's
Narruption. No, I was asking. Okay, I will follow Narruption on Instagram, but I was asking for your handle because I haven't seen
socials.
Okay. Still, I'll be looking forward to a Get Equity tweets or Instagram posts from you about the event that is coming up.
Sure.
Thank you.
We're going to do that. Yeah, and I think we're also going to have at least one person in the eruption going for the festival. Just to see as well. Okay.
So it was really awesome talking to you, to be honest.
What?
I said it was awesome talking to you, to be honest. You're good at this.
Thank you. Like you are like you're a G. I don't know. I just think that's the thing too. That's the way to capture.
I'm actually doing peace out now. Well, you can't because my video is off. But still, peace.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody working in your team. I'm sure they love. I mean, if I was under you, right, I'm sure I would love what. I mean, obviously.
Wow, you're definitely not Gen Z.
I was sure I
made the mistake of using under you. Under you is packed full of sexual innuendos. So if you're working with me, it's more the thing to say as opposed to if you were
giving exploitation and what else, right? But I mean, we have to just come. Yeah, Gen Z is now because of the age. Once he hits like 30, and they see that I have to pay rent too. All these things will vanish.
They're already paying rent. That's the thing with Gen Z. They were paying rent since they were 22.
But it depends though. Are you looking at the tech bros? Because tech bros is not a good.
No, I'm not looking at tech bros. These people, they did not stay in their house for too long. They left because they are too stubborn. They're on the streets. They've been paying rent since forever. And that's the great thing about them is their go-getter spirit and their ability to decide not to take nonsense. It's good. So shout out to everybody on my team. Myself, I'm shouting out to all of them in my team for the hard work that they do and that they're going to work hard. And Demola, I will still catch you last on the streets of Lagos.
So we have to have one with Demola so that Demola will talk about Ized from a third person perspective.
I'm pretty certain that Demola likes paying rent and he likes affording all the things that he can afford. So if he comes online and talks bad, Demola will probably come online and talk bad about me. You know, people that are confidently good at what they do, so they know that you cannot mess with them anyhow.
He's giving Cotty. He's giving Cotty. Demola. All right.
So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I wish you success in all you're doing, your establishment.
Amen.
And just a recruitment as well in these times. Where a lot of companies, and so like talent is going to be very hard to find soon. Right. So I wish you luck in that aspect as well. But yeah, thank you for doing the good work. Thank you for believing in marketing for companies and businesses. I think that's really important because from a Nigerian perspective, right, we really need it. We really need some people just want to focus on their vision and their idea, and they really don't have time and energy for the marketing aspect, right? And that's where they get it wrong. But having services as yours that offers that, right, I think is excellent. So on behalf of present, past, and future customers, we thank you, Ized.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much.
Have a nice day.
Have a great day. You too.
See
Bye.
you potentially in the festival through our narration person.
Okay. Bye. Take care.
Bye.